Hello everybody, how are you doing tonight? So anyway, I forgot these cards. There's Miss Holly. Oh my goodness, my van is finally finished. Oh, my son is amazing. Anyway, so I want to talk about Jeffree Star, and I did put it in my title yesterday, but it was a live stream. But I want to talk about the concealer shade range and, you know, my opinions of it. I actually got a few mixed opinions, to be perfectly honest. I've seen there are a lot of mixed feelings, to be perfectly honest, on Twitter and everything that's going around. There's a lot of mixed feelings, but I'm not even being defensive. I am not a person of color. I'm just going to put that out there immediately. So it is not my, you know, right to say if it's good enough or if it's not. I mean, when it comes to the deeper complexions, it's not my right to say. I do think he did concentrate a lot on undertones. Like, I think he said there was, you know, like vanilla undertones. There was, your warm undertones. There was your, and I'm speaking for the lighter shades. And then there was rosy undertones. But, you know, a lot of people said, you know, like there's not like a warm undertone or, you know, things like that. There's neutral. There's so many different undertones, people. They're just, God bless, there is. And I just want to be one to say, just my opinion is, at this point, it is just concealer. It is not foundation. It is concealer. And I know that he's been working on this for a year, and I know he pushed up his launch date. But, and again, I'm not being defensive, but Jeffree did state that it was just the start, and he wants to hear from people what more we want, you know, what more all the consumers want. So he's, you know, he released the 30 shades, you know, and he's basically saying, you guys now tell me what you want, you know, tell me what I'm missing, things like that. So people do need to be vocal. People, you know, do need, you know, people of color need to be vocal, speak up and say, this is what you're missing, this is what you're missing, this is what you're missing. And hopefully, I think that was a smart idea for him to come out with the concealers first, to be honest, because if this would have been Foundation Girl, it would have been a hot ass mess. Oh, it totally would have been a hot mess. So it was very smart business wise for him to come out with the concealers first. And at least this way, as he launches that and he learns what the consumers want, what's missing, what he needs to, you know, include in this, you know, in this concealer range, I think it'll make it all the more better for him to know what he needs to do to properly make, you know, enough shade ranges for foundation. That being said, I will just say one thing on, you know, one feeling that I do have is that it's Jeffree Star. And people that hate Jeffree Star, you know, this is a wonderful way to just, you know, attack. You know, it is. It's a wonderful way for people to pounce on this opportunity to say, ooh, look what you did, you know. So I'm going to be really for real on that and really honest. Again, it is just 30 shades. It is concealer. He obviously needs to work on more shade ranges. There were light, there was medium, there was deep, but, you know, just obviously not enough. But he does need to hear from the community feedback to say, this is what you're missing. This is what you need to do. I've seen a lot of people comparing it to, you know, him calling out Tarte, which is true, but Tarte's shade range was way horrid. I mean, it went light, too little deep. You know, that shade, I don't compare this to that because what Tarte did, that was way more atrocious. So I get it. But again, Jeffree Star has been working on this for a year. And number two, he's an independent brand. He's not Tarte. He's not Too Faced. He's not, you know, yes, he's a millionaire. I get that, but he doesn't have, you know, he's not a huge company that So I'm sure he had a lot invested in just the 30 shades that he has already made. So, and that's just Holly singing. If you guys hear her, she's being a little vocal little fly. So she is just so sweet. Oh, God bless her. She's suffering from some allergies. So she's in there singing with her toys. Hold on just one second, guys. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to check on her, make sure she was okay. She's just singing. But anyway, so that is a really big thought on what I have to say. And no, I'm not defending him at all. I'm really not. And I'm not a person of color. So again, I can't speak, you know, for that. But I think there's a lot missing in all ranges, to be perfectly honest. I really do think, I mean, my shade isn't exactly that hard to find. So again, but, you know, maybe he should work with, you know, people of color together. He should, you know, work with, you know, people to, you know, see exactly what needs to be done and how he can improve. And again, he did put it out there that he does want to hear from, you know, people. So I think that's good. I mean, I think it was kind of already in a way he was admitting, okay, this isn't the best. It's not everything. So I want to hear from you. So in my opinion, he kind of already seen this coming. He already knew it was going to happen. And again, he is an indie brand. He is not Tarte. He is not Too Faced. He is not Huda. He is not, you know, Benefit. He is not Beauty Blender. He's just himself. So anyway, again, I do hope that he makes all the shades that he needs to. And again, I think it was very clever that he just made it concealer and not foundation, because if it was foundation, he'd be really getting dragged. So I also did see Nick Snyder's video earlier, and I was paying attention a lot, you know, well, not a lot. I was scrolling a lot through on Twitter, and Jackie Aina, you know, it was just a couple of months ago that somebody added Jackie Aina on. They wanted her opinion on a shade range, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was. And sorry, I just don't have the time because I got to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, so I don't feel like scrolling all the way back. But you guys may remember. I think Jackie Aina is at the point where she's getting really frustrated that every time a foundation or a concealer, you know, drops, that everybody ats her, you know. That's got to be frustrating as hell, to be perfectly honest. And we all know Jackie Aina and Jeffree Star. There is just like, no, of course not, you know. So I don't, it's like, why would you at her? She doesn't give a shit about Jeffree. She can't stand him. She's not going to speak on it. She doesn't give a shit what Jeffree does. So I can completely understand where she's like, I ain't got nothing to say. I just don't. And I don't blame her for that at all. But to be in her shoes, to constantly get added every time a foundation or a concealer or a setting powder or something comes out, it's got to be frustrating as hell. I mean, she is a wonderful advocate for people of color. She absolutely is. But does that mean that every time something gets released, she's supposed to just get mad and angry and sound off all the time? Absolutely not. And I don't think it's fair. This is my opinion, guys. I don't think it's fair that the community does that to her. I really don't think it's right. Because then that kind of makes her, I mean, just hear me out on this. Ride with me on this train. But it's like, I think she's kind of frustrated that everyone's looking at her to be the bitch. You know, it's not fair to her to always want people to come out negative. It's like, who wants to be like the negative person all the time? Who always wants to be the one constantly, you know, yelling and stuff like that? She has done wonderful things for, you know, people of color. She has, you know, worked with Too Faced, you know, to expand their shade range. She has advocated wonderfully, you know, but for them, you know, to always look at her, you know, all these, you know, people always looking at her, the community always looking at her, say, oh, you know, bitch about this, bitch about this, bitch about this. It's like, don't make the woman constantly out to be the bitch. She's really not. It kind of defeats the purpose of what she's trying to do. She's trying to advocate in a professional way, not just out there just sounding off all the time. And I do find that, you know, it's a little disrespectful to her as a person, you know. I think it takes away from her, you know, her cause. It takes away if they're, you know, I mean, seriously, guys, if she's just bitching 24/7, you know, then she's going to, I don't know. I mean, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Don't always look at her to be the bitch. It's just not, it's not fair and it's not right. Let her do good, and like she's been doing, let her do that. And don't always at her to say, bitch about this, bitch about this, bitch about this. It just becomes repetitive and it becomes redundant. And I really feel sorry for her that, you know, people always do that to her. I mean, out of all people, you should have known that Jeffree Star, she ain't got shit to say. She has her feelings, and that is her entitlement and her right, and I don't blame her. You know, so it is what it is when it comes to that. So I did want to just speak up a little bit on my thoughts about the Jackie Aina, and you know, I don't think it is fair to her. So anyway, I do want to know your guys' thoughts and your opinions. Again, I personally think I seen this coming with Jeffree, because, you know, people now, the haters are definitely going to pounce on that. They're going to pounce. But just in my eyes, and again, I'm not on his payroll. I'm not defending him at all. But he did say that he did want to hear feedback from the community. I'm sorry, it got blurry. But he does want to hear the feedback from the community. And I think I think that is big of him, saying, you know what, shit, dude, I know it ain't enough. Please tell me what I'm missing, and I will make that for you. That's just my opinions on the matter. That's how I feel. And again, you know, I really do hope that, you know, things work out and everybody gets, you know, their input, you know, in a good way, and everything works out well. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. And I'm actually, now that you're at the end of this video, and if you watched it, thank you so much. I did put a tweet out. I'm going to start doing some like get ready with me's on Instagram. I'm going to do like some live Instagram, or I'm going to be doing like some videos and some stories on Instagram, just because not everything I can always put on YouTube, because people be like, bitch, that's boring as hell. But no, I do want to start doing some things over on Instagram. So feel free to follow me over there. It's just Faith Luzak. Last name is Lewczzyk. I dox myself. Kidding. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I am going to be starting to do some things over on Instagram, because I just love Instagram. Goodness, but there's always some wonderful, I love to follow people on Instagram. There's so many creative people, so many inspiring looks that I find over there, and I just love, you know, looks that people come up with. Me, obviously, I don't do those beautiful, wonderful looks, because I can't wear those to work. Well, I could, but they might be like, no. No. So I just like to do basic, average, everyday, going to work things and stuff like that. So anyway, I do hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much again, as always, for watching 5 seconds, 5 moments, anything of my videos. Please let me know your thoughts down below. I'm sure everybody's is going to be different, but always keep it kind down there. But I know yous all always do. And I have been watching a lot of things on Twitter, and, you know, my feelings are kind of mixed on it myself. And again, I can't speak for, you know, people of color, and they should always, everybody should be always included in everything. It's 2019. There's no business for no more of the shenanigans, bullshit. Everybody be included. Kisses to you all, and as always, thank you so much.